Hey guys, Ranchin here, PDPOP of commentary. This is gonna be the second set between ZerO and the Greato. That's ZerO and Great for those of you that don't understand the butchering of Asian languages, rather slash accents. This is gonna be the second set of ZerO and Great in the PDPOP MSL Semi-Finals, 2010 to 2011 MSL season. This is going to be on Triathlon, 12 o'clock position in orange. We're going to have the Zerg player ZerO. At the 4 o'clock position or 5 o'clock position, we're going to have the blue as the Zerg player Greato. Both with ending with aw. If you butcher the Asian, accents, Japanese, Korean, kind of mix there. Because I'm a horrible, horrible human being and am incredibly racist. 48, 49, 50 for some sinkage awesomeness. First set was pretty quick, over with just like that. I don't know if you actually heard the snap I did with my fingers because my microphone kind of likes to not let any surround sound get in, but the voice that's right in front of it. And I love my microphone for it. It's not very sensitive. It's not sensitive to outside noise. I don't need to use headphones because if my speakers are far enough away, it won't pick it up. So all in all, in many ways, my microphone is very awesome, and that's what you get for paying for professional grade stuff. Anyway, well, we're looking forward to this. I'm going to see what kind of builds, whether we're going to see anything I like the other one. This is a 3-player map, so a little bit more funky stuff you can do on Triathlon, of course. Have those natural secondaries that you can take as your natural expansion. Just take those bases. Feel very safe until Mutalisks get into the game. So you can be very safe with that. Seems like we're going to be seeing overpulls on both sides. Overpulls into extractors. So we're going to be not going to be seeing heavy economy builds. Both players are going to be playing a little bit safe with overpull. Overpull, I think, in ZVZ is kind of the safe way to go, and it seems pretty much the safe way to go with most Zerg builds. You go Overlord, you go spawning pool. That seems just like the overall safe Zerg build. It never puts you too far behind, but of course it never puts you too far ahead. But at the same time, it's just very balanced overall. Lets you put on a little bit of pressure if it's needed. Lets you defend if it's needed. Lets you put up an expansion fairly quickly. Do see the natural expansion come up for Great, while ZerO opts to take his secondary. That's of course going to be a little bit safer. And the positions they're in, actually, this is very good for Great to take the natural expansion, because if he had taken the secondary, ZerO would have a easier time harassing that with Mutalisks. It doesn't matter quite as much, but when it's a shorter route for you than for your opponent, that's always nice. But that's not the case because Great took that natural expo instead of less secondary. And Overlord's in the right position, so they're going to be able to spot all that stuff out, and of course a Great saw, okay, it has a base 12, I better take natural expansion just to not give myself a positional disadvantage. Natural expansion, it's a little bit more to defend. You have that ramp. You can't defend on the ramp. You have to defend below the ramp for the most part. But, in the end, it's not too huge. It's going to be easier for ZerO to play a defensive game early on because you just kind of stand on this ramp and then has a base that you can sneak into. So I think defensive-wise, ZerO's position is a little bit better. And we're going to see whether it actually can utilize that deep into the game to get back into this, because he is 1-0 ahead, and I really don't think it was horrible for him, the way that lost. It's hard to explain what I'm actually trying to say, but it's like he went for a build, he went for a very specific thing, and it certainly felt like it was, if it was going to fail, it was going to fail. It was either going to work or it was either going to fail. It wasn't an all-in, but it would have, if it had failed as it did, it put him at a significant disadvantage, because he could have gone for an economy game instead, but instead of what he did go for, but he opted to go for the quick pressure. And Great actually putting down a Spore Colony at his national expansion. That's a very interesting play right there for him. Being very, very, very conscious of the dangers that he might face, and he seems like he's just going to want to play defensive a little bit and possibly play the tech game. Both players going to go for their spires. And I did see ZerO put down a secondary extractor Great doing exactly the same thing. I am a little bit surprised by this creep colony. Just keeping that there. It doesn't upgrade that to sunken because there's no need to do that. No need to spend those resources. ZerO likes to play tricky tricks. He's going for a lot of Zerglings right now. Speed upgrade. It seems like he might actually go for an attack here. And Sunken Colony does get upgraded as soon as they get spotted by an Overlord out there. So ZerO might try to put in a little bit of pressure. I'm not quite sure it's going to be too successful because there are drones are actually spreading themselves out. There are not a lot of base defenses. Second creep call, Evolution Chamber, never mind, is going to be put up. That's just a blockade. Seems like he's going to want to play some anti-defense as well. That's going to be a blockade right there. Drones and Zerglings with that Sunken Colony should be able to defend for all, but maybe more reinforcements are going to come in here from ZerO. Several Zerglings actually sneak on top of the ramp. Some more Zergling reinforcements. Great, though. That Sunken Colony doing a great job of keeping great in this. Drones doing a great job of blocking on top of the ramp. Evolution Chamber gets canceled because it's not necessary. One of the drones barely survives. The Mutalisk pops out late, but the Zergling attack gets prevented. ZerO's now might gonna... oh god, I'm totally butchering the language here, but ZerO might put on the pressure. Seems like he's gonna try to kill an Overlord before he does anything else. Evolution Chamber is being put up at the net at the main, and Creep Colony is being put down. I'm surprised by Great going for Mutalisks, going for these Creep Colonies when he actually has Mutalisks, but he's very behind on them, so he doesn't feel very confident, it seems. He's going to play some base defense game. He might go for a third base. If he has this build, try to get an economic lead. Since he has static base defenses, why not utilize those? He's going to need a higher Mutalisk number, though, to prevent that other base from getting harassed. Getting a Zergling inside of ZerO's base now. Going to try to harass a little bit. I think that, yeah, the drones are going to be able to force that Zergling back. But he's getting the scan information. Is, of course, not going to be able to sneak in to that secondary because Zergling can't go past the eggs like a Workers can. But still getting most of the information. He has some Scourge out there as well. Has Spore Colony inside of his main. Has a Spore Colony inside of his natural. Going to go for a second Spore Colony. And I'm really overall just a little bit confused on this, how he's kind of be spending money on the wrong stuff. Somehow it feels like Mutalisk is going to come in here with a Scourge, going to take a few hits, going to go in the main, going to take some more hits. Has a lot of Scourge and Mutalisk, but Grady going to be forced to play very defensive here. Took a lot of economic damage at the natural expansion. Of course, wasn't mining from there at all, so that a little bit explains his kind of lackluster position at the moment again. But he's definitely not horribly behind. ZerO hasn't really been focusing his economy too much. He's now just getting some more drones out there. He has a superior positioning. He has a positioning advantage. Has more troops out there. So in that way, he's in a pretty good position. While his opponent has to play defensively. Has to kind of stay back home. Can't really move out and maneuver. And for Great to really win this, he has to get an economic lead. He has to work on his economy. Getting his extractor now very late. And you can see it as naturally he only has one drone mining there. He's been forced to try to get his troops up, has some Spore Colonies to defend, 2 at each base, while ZerO kind of is allowed to do what he wants, to mine up, get some more bases going. Going to put up his natural expansion right now, so he's going to take an even bigger economic lead as the game goes on right now. Great needs an additional base. He's doing a great job here back home. Look at that. ZerO trying to pick up an Overlord. Actually not managed to do that. Taking quite a few hits, so he's going to take another hit. Kind of be forced into the lower right-hand corner if he's going to go for the main. Going to take even more hits. He's going to go for these drones here. Mutalisk are away from home right now. A couple of drones going to get picked off. Mutalisk going to do a nice little strafing run. Take a lot of damage as they do so. Seems like Greg actually going to try to go for an attack here on ZerO's own drones. Might get actually a lot of damage here. We're going to see what he managed to get accomplished. Trying to attack as many drones as possible. Not quite enough to one-shot all over the place, but getting at least 3, I think 4 drones there. Trying to do a little bit more damage. Just going to stay on these drones. Trying to do as much damage as possible. Getting hit by Scourge, getting hit by everything, but he doesn't care. He's just going to go for the attack, loses all of his Mutalisks, but does a lot of economic damage, and that's exactly what he's trying to do. I think 6 drones maybe? Whether that's worth his entire Mutalisk army, I don't know. And you saw by how slowly he was taking down those drones, he really didn't have that many Mutalisks. Wasn't even one-shotting the drones, as ZerO was in his own base. So ZerO now even puts down additional hatchery. Has too many minerals to work with right now. Can't really get everything out there. On the opposite, I do see a Queen's Nest coming out here for... Whoa. Great switching it up a notch. Queen's Nest, that's going to be very interesting. We're going to see what kind of tech he decides to go for. Queen's Nest, you do not often see this kind of tech coming up. We're going to be seeing what he goes for. Whether he's going to go for Greater Spire tech, maybe go for Devourers. Something else. I think that might be a little bit money intensive for him though, trying to go for that, but he does have a few Mutalisk out there. We're going to see what he does. So still has only static defense, still has only 2 bases. While ZerO has his natural expansion up, is trying to drone up a little bit more, has meanwhile replenished his drone count at his main. He knows he can safely do that. He still has map control, has those Mutalisk around, took that all the Mutalisk of his opponent, but at the same time he does not have the numbers to go for an attack, so instead he's going to just try to get economic superiority and win that way. Additional hatchet being put down now here by Great. Still not another base. I'm not quite sure whether I don't think whether it's because maybe he didn't spot that natural expansion coming up, because he didn't fly out there with his Mutos. They just went straight for the main or what, but he really needs that additional base because he's going for Hive right now instead. On the opposite side, ZerO has Carapace 1 upgrade on his Mutalisk. He's getting his natural expansion extractor going, and he's overall in a very good position. I saw additional buildings being put up. I'm not quite sure what that was, whether that was higher tech as well. Let's see his opponent going. Also, ZerO also going to go for a Queen's Nest, so this is just going to go into a completely different tech direction. We're going to see exactly what it goes for here. I'm not sure what to expect from either player. Might just be seeing standard air anti-air play, but I think a lot of different mechanics might come into this. Hydra Den. Whoa, creep colonies, Hydra Den. Creep colonies, I'm sorry. Hatcheries. Additional hatcheries and a Hydra Den. And really looking at Great right now. He hasn't really been using many resources. He's gotten a few Mutalisks, a few Scourge, but mostly he's just been working on his tech. On the opposite side, ZerO has a highly superior economy despite that harassment he took. Double Defiler, man. So it seems like, whoa, Great's just going to go for a push strategy just right here. Going to go mass Hydras. Going to go for Defiler and Dark Swarm and win with Dark Swarm Hydra. This is going to be very, very interesting to see, to say the least. This is going to be really interesting. Of course, no use to get Defilers for Mutalisk because they don't. That defense does not work for air units. But still, that could actually give him the strategy exactly to just get a lot of Hydras, put him under Dark Swarm, just have him pop at Mutalisk and just push out that way. Seems like his double Defiler, of course, means he's gonna quick upgrade, get to Consume and Plague right out of the gates, both at the same time, and of course, plaguing a whole Mutalisk unit. The amount of damage that'll you can just plague that, move in with a few Hydras and Mutalisk, and that's it. That's a win right there. A few Scourge coming in for Great, just doing a little bit of damage. Double Evolution Chamber for his opponent, so this might take a whole new switch for a completely different type of game. Great still, I find, very far behind economically. He needs an additional base. Zerg trying to sneak in and spotting the tech, not managing to do that. And ZerO even has put up some defenses. Going for a Queen, of course. This is ZerO. What do you expect? He's going to go for at least a Queen. Has a Defiler Mountain on the way. Only single one. He's not rushing the upgrades. So it seems like he's going to be more worried just about getting the Dark Swarm. But there, or that, no, that's the second Defiler. Yep, second Defiler Mountain. He's going to be rushing double upgrade as well. So, yeah, this is going to be insane. This is going to be really fun to see. Defiler's already out there for his opponent. A couple Defilers out there for Great. So if he's going to want to push to use that Defiler advantage, he's going to want to do that right now before his opponent has any Mutals flying out there, killing some random Scourge. I still don't see how. I just think ZerO is going to be able to pop out a lot quicker because he has 3 bases mining to Great's 2, and if Great wants to pick up an advantage and win this game, he really needs to go and move out like right now. Defiler, did Defiler just eat another Defiler? I hope not. But yeah, now has upgrades. Scourge have flown by, spotting everything out. Oh look, there's the Defiler. ZerO spotting Greato or something. I don't know. I gotta stop doing that. I'm just horrible. Queen. Oh my God, Queen. Spawn brutaling the Defiler. I guess that can work. Lurkers. Never mind Hydras. Lurkers killing the eggs so he can expand towards the sick rather than taking the secondary. Smart play in a certain way, I guess. I was saying that taking the secondary is gonna if his opponent has an air superiority, which he does. He has a very large air superiority. Taking the 3 o'clock position. The secondary actually leaves that very vulnerable. Defiler gonna run in first. What's going on? What's going on? What's over here? Let's put up a base. Come on. Some Hydras out there as well. Some more Defilers. Hatchet being put down there at the 6 o'clock position. So he seems like that's gonna be Great's expansion route. But I still think the amount of time that he's been a base under is very, very long. On the opposite side, you're gonna see a lot of upgrades. A lot of Hydras gonna be pumped out. And I'm going to be seeing the upgrades coming in much faster for ZerO, so I really don't see exactly. Also has a humongous Muta count. Is putting up a base there at the 9 o'clock position. I just don't see exactly how Great can win this because he's been playing very defensive. He had his tech advantage a little bit now, but I'm not really sure he's going to be able to utilize it. A Plague that hits only a single Muta. That's a pretty bad Plague. Muta's managed to get out there. So, oh, it's a Defiler run. Plague's a couple of his own overlords. Whoops. So yeah, not the best of plagues playing his overlord. They're all like, why would you do that? Which into ZerO translates as or something like that. Sound like Mundo from League of Legends. Ooh, Defiler coming up front and get killed by lurkers. That's sloppy, but I really don't think that's going to kill ZerO overall. I still think he's in a superior position. Has a lot of those mutos, most of them in fine and dandy health, have 1-1 upgrades. Upgrade-wise, I think Great is definitely behind. So the longer the game goes on, the worse I still think it's going to be for Great, because economic superiority is economic superiority. Not much else to say. Fine, I'm going to pick up the secondary, so it's going to be 4 base to 4, but just I think that harass he did at ZerO's base, just it wasn't enough. It just was not enough, because it was a few drones that died, but they were instantly replaced, and there was a little bit of army not being used by ZerO, not being pumped out. I mean, I think he can win if he gets the clutch Defiler play, basically. A Defiler actually scurrying away so he doesn't die, but I really think he can win if he gets the Defiler play he needs. If he gets the plague, if a bunch of forces come at him, his own forces do not get played, he just plagues his entire opponent forces and just rips them to pieces. That might happen. But it seems like I'm going to be seeing a lot of lurker on lurker action, not something you see every day. Definitely not something you see every day. And there's an opposing play catching only 4 Hydras. That's not too huge. But that'd be interesting to see, just lurkers trying to anticipate lurkers and try to micro against lurkers. All funky. Mineral only going to be put up as well by Great outside of his natural expansion. That inside 8 o'clock, I guess, inside 7 o'clock or inside 8 o'clock natural mineral only. So Great's going to be on 4 bases soon. He has the 6 o'clock mining farewell. He should have his mineral only up fairly soon. ZerO's been on 3 for a very long time. I think his main's actually almost mined out at this point, but his 9 o'clock position is also giving him a lot of resources at this point. A lot of lurkers just on the ground for Great, alongside Hydras looking at those mutas. And I think this game has just turned a very funky look right now. Have Queens being microed down a little bit by ZerO. We're going to see exactly what he does. I think he used them a little bit there, but I didn't exactly see what he did, unfortunately. You can see the first person views of both players. Definitely an unorthodox ZVZ here. Very much unorthodox. Kind of crazy. Nothing really too much happening. More plagues coming up, but it seems like both players are very kind of gearing themselves up. It seems like there's going to be one massive battle, one humongous battle that's just going to end everything. Rawr. Because, ooh, that's a pretty big, ooh, that's exactly what. That is exactly what Grit did not want. Bunch of his mutas being hit by plagues. Bunch of his Hydras being hit by plagues. And with upgrades, I think ZerO, he doesn't want to run forward and get hit by a massive plague and die. Understandable. But he's going to have to do something, because it seems like the 9 o'clock position is going to be Great's target. He's going to go for a lot of second colonies, a lot of more second colonies, a lot of lurkers. He's going to try to defend this like crazy before he sends the reinforcements. Has the lurkers also coming in. Has a Defiler out there as well. And a Spore colony at the front, actually. Go away, Overlord. Back to the depths of hell with you. A lot of Hydras, a lot of them damaged from Plague, a lot of Lurkers as well, a lot of them damaged from Plague, so I'm not quite sure how effective this attack is going to be. One Hydra going to come in here try to do a little bit of damage, not too much of a roll. Queen's actually sitting around in the middle, spotting things out. Zerglings are being spotted by them, and Zerglings spotting the Queens. Arbor's being killed all over to stop hiding some of those eggs. ZerO also going around trying to pick up that 9 o'clock position main. That 9 o'clock position main. So we can do something here, and it seems like he's actually gonna go for a drop. Oh god, I can't make this game sound exciting at all. This is so insane. Now he's gonna go for a huge drop. That actually did not see that coming at all. Plagues all the mutas as he drops in. Dark Swarms, his Queens in the middle. They're gonna get caught. Oh man, Great, just trying to run everything back home, but man, that's a huge drop. Instantly destroys that secondary. Now he's going to run into the man. Huge Hydra Zergling drop. Some more Dark Storm going to come up here. That was a huge plague of the mutas as well. They pretty much took most of them out of the fight completely. And it seems like a lot of his troops are actually going down due to the lurker damage, but still a lot of those Zerglings, a lot of those lurkers, just seems like he's just going to finish up the mineral only and not worry too much about anything else. He's defended himself meanwhile back home, and the economic damage he's done is pretty solid now. It seems like he's going to try to go for two-pronged attack. He's going here attacking from a back with that drop with some Zerglings and Hydras. Has a lot of forces coming in, moving in through the middle, going to try to distract. See, even Great's a little bit distracted. Has a couple lurkers there in the middle, not really do anything. Just kind of stuck with parasites, or just stuck in the middle so they don't hang out with a troop. Nice plague there from Great. And a lot of those workers and Hydras, but I don't think he's going to be able to defend overall. That mineral only might go down. Whoever forces everywhere dying. Also, those mules are going to be a big help in the coming fight. Plague's coming off here from ZerO, plaguing everything as he tries to move in slowly with his Hydras and attack things. Oh, man. Do actually opposite plagues work on, like, friendly plagues work on opposite units? Because it's still a plague and it just kind of affects everything like a storm affects everything? God, I'm so confused now. I've never seen this in a ZVZ before. I should know this, but it's never happened, so I don't. I'm pretty sure it doesn't. Pretty sure it acts like a storm in that way. So just you see forces from both sides on top of legs, and they're like, I want you to die, because I won't. Lurker attacks affect them, though. Great's actually going to be able to clear this up in his mineral only, but he's still in a pretty bad position. One Lurker there with 9 kills, like I am the boss. And ZerO still has an economic superiority by far. A lot of troops. He's done a lot of damage now. He didn't kill that mineral only, and he hasn't really gone south to do damage. I mean, if you went by from the left side, the 6th position would be a very easy victim from him, even just a Mutalisks, I think, despite the Defiler being there. Still pressuring, put a lot of nice plague on every single Defiler of Great there, and that's pretty big. Still losing some of his Lurkers, ZerO, and he's not really pressuring a lot here anymore. He knows he has the advantage, just to be careful, just press it, not die to any counterattacks, which won't even happen because Great just can't pump out the troops anymore. He just cannot pump out the troops. ZerO even has his Ultralisk Cavern working now. Oh man, that is crazy. Putting up his own base here at the 12 o'clock position, inside 12 o'clock position, mineral only, and Great trying to go for a counterattack. Some Hydras, some Zerglings, but he has no plagues to support him. He's trying to do some damage, but it's just not going to be enough. Not going to be enough, I'm afraid. I really don't think that he's going to be able to do too much. Look at all those Lurkers, look at those Hydras, all those Zerglings from ZerO has plenty of defend. He might not be able, he's being forced to cancel this mineral only, but I really don't think he minds that much. Great, though, still putting on a lot of pressure. Darkstorm's coming up from all sides. Mutalisk flying here, going to try to catch as many units not on Darkstorm as possible, trying to do as much damage all over the place. Gets a big plate on his own Mutalisk, but still going to stay in here. Some of those Defilers still in play for Great. But ZerO managing to clean most of this up. His own Lurkers coming into play, moving everything out. His Mutalisk also being a big factor there. And still don't see any way for Great to really come back into this. This position, an important lifeline, and it seems like that's going to get dropped. With that going down, I think Great's chances of this game are turning to almost zero. He really doesn't seem to be in a very good position overall to do too much. Oh man, yeah, look at that. One Dark Swarm, Lurkers, kablam, drones just die. Hydra's engaging. Yeah, okay, Hydra's engaging Mutalisks. That's funny, but yeah, this 6 o'clock base not minding, not giving Great much of anything anymore. And his 1-0 advantage is not going to be tied up. So ZerO with some nice play here. Not really utilizing his queens from what I could see, but still doing a great job. Zerg's actually going to go for those Lurkers, but I don't see an Overlord there anywhere for Great. So not quite sure exactly what that is. Going to be a big drop here from Great, actually on this 9 o'clock main, but not really going to do much. For one thing, ZerO has a ridiculous amount of upgrades at this point. Fully upgraded Carapace. He's going to have reinforcements coming in. This 9 o'clock position isn't really giving ZerO that many resources yet. Only had a few drones there. Finally, a GG. Once Great spots the Ultralisk, he's like, well, with Ultras in the game, that's not going to happen. So decides, better part about just, give it up. Finally, both players taking sips of stuff, which I should do as well. So the game was actually very passive, despite seeing some interesting units. Actually would have been more exciting with just massive Muta battles, I think. Very passive game until mostly the end. So yeah, GG guys, wrenching out, assisting, hope you enjoyed. Third set next.